Hello, everyone. Greetings and welcome to our first weekly review of college football, specifically in the SEC this year. We're going to have lots of fun tonight with our special guest and talking football. I'm just checking a few things here. Hopefully, everybody's had a good day today, good evening, and that you're all doing well. Sit back, have some laughs with us, and see where we go tonight with things. Welcome again, and it is a wonderful Monday evening. It's Tuesday. I get my days quick, so mixed up. But it's been a long day, 5 hours on the road back and forth, and it's been interesting today. Let me check one thing we've got over here real quick, and really excited about doing this with the review process tonight, and trying out some new formats and a little experimenting tonight, and we'll see how we do things and how it turns out. As I said before, this is the first week of a weekly SEC primarily focused football review show, but we'll be talking about other things, other aspects about football, and it can be different types of levels of football. Could be different types of. It could even be international football. Got plans, so just be here, and you never know what's going to happen with us here tonight. So, and each week coming up, because hopefully we have a lot of special guests lined up in the future for some really, really interesting shows. Yes. First, yes, you are. And down. I knew could count on Squeaka for some football reference. Howdy, Squeaka. Good to have you with us. Always good to have Aang, one of our great mods here. So, hi, Aang. Yeah, what's up, old man? Only old in number, but not old in spirit. I stay up at 4 a.m. playing Fortnite all the time. Hey. Wade, good to see you tonight. Hey, Dadman for the win. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Glad you're here. Hey, and Wade, thanks for that question again the other night about why Tennessee's in the East. That was a really good question you had. And, I'm glad I got a chance to discuss that for you. So, hey, we got 4 people here, it looks like. Hey, thank you all for being here. For others that come in or maybe just out there silently, we're not just a football channel. We already have a couple little short videos, one with some history, which hopefully we'll have some more content coming up very soon with a visit to a fort that I have never been to. Unfortunately, it involves camping in Florida, which is why the hell are we going to camp in Florida? But the missus sprung for a portable AC, so okay, we can handle that. And then another stream where I did a little show and tell with a metallic hurricane tracking chart, which every Floridian has to keep on an eye on that this time of year. So a little bit more of the channel, and hopefully in the days to come there'll be more content and different types of things, just as we get our feet under us, get used to the technology, and have fun with this. And you never know what kind of surprises will come down the corner. So without further ado, since I've managed to kill about 5 minutes there, like I said, we're going to have some special guests along the way, some very special guests, and I'm still working some of those out. But tonight, it's only appropriate that this particular person is the first guest on this live stream and on this series. This person has been involved with me for the better part of 27 years and has been involved in a lot of football with me in terms of going to games, listening to me rant and rave around the house, and putting up with a lot of foolishness. So without further ado, let me introduce the great and wonderful Mrs. Dadman Walking.
Hello, everybody. Nice to be here.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. And of course, I'm in my own geeky way. I'm waving to everybody because they can see me in my mind. So just picture me waving. I'm doing good. I'm doing very good tonight.
Yes, it's been an
Excited to
interesting.
be here. I'm glad that this is finally happening. I know this is something you've been talking about and wanting to do, and I'm glad that it's happening for you.
Absolutely. And I would not be here without you.
Oh well, thank you.
Well, especially for you, those of you that remember from last week with the preview show, the SEC season preview show, all the graphics that were made all by her. And guess what? Tonight's graphics are also made by Mrs. Dadman Walking. Hey, by the way, you got a wave back from Squeaka.
Oh, thank you, Squeaka. I would answer in chat, but I get confused where to answer, and then I usually answer on the wrong one, and then it looks like Dad Man's answering. So uh, it's
How
just
about this? Oh, that's
tell your
awesome.
bestie. One of your besties is who you waving to.
Yep. Oh, Wade, yep, go Vols. Hey, I actually, Wade, I ended up going on a karaoke show last year, uh, and I sang Rocky Top.
Oh, but and I know, and I cried.
The bet was that Florida had to lose, but I did it anyway because the host really wanted me to sing Rocky Top. So I did it. I think actually I did okay with that song. It's just
You did. You
painful to
sang it
sing.
well.
It just, yeah, don't ask me to sing other songs. So, but hey. So anyway, with that, we love our chat. Thank you for every one of you that are here. We've got 4 out here tonight. And hello to anybody that's lurking too. So, Mrs. Dadman,
Yes,
tell me.
I will.
We're going to talk a little bit about football later.
Okie doke.
But you personally, what types of things do you like? What do you hobbies do you have?
And oh, not well. I like crafting. I love crocheting and knitting, and I like quilting and sewing. I love sewing clothes, but I haven't done it in like forever. I just like just any kind of crafts, something new. I wish I was artistic more in the painting aspect, but that skipped me and went to my child instead. Um, but yeah, I just love crafts. I enjoy playing Fortnite. It's a silly game, but I find it fun and relaxing um and what else do I like doing? I like reading manga and watching some anime, and I love Asian dramas, not just Korean, but any kind of Asian dramas, Thai, Chinese, Japanese, any kind of drama. I prefer them basically because they're short. Well, not Chinese dramas, but they have like 16 episodes and then you're done. Unlike American television, which has like seasons upon seasons, and I just like to I've got short attention span, watch it, get it over with, and then watch something else. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. And every Christmas, I decorate our Christmas tree differently, and then I dispose of the ornaments, and we start again the next year.
Well,
So
you talked about um, making clothes, and how about costuming? Have you done much costuming
I have
before?
done costuming. One of the first costumes I made for us as a couple, I was a lusty barmaid, and I had it where it was very voluptuous, and you were the lecherous monk.
I remember that.
It did kind of turn some eyes in the family, but
Yeah.
it was fun.
Hey, we were young and married, so hey,
Yep,
yeah, exactly. Um, okay. Well, is that pretty much it for you
I
with
think
that?
so. I
Okay.
guess. I guess.
Oh, yes.
So wait, is it more yay, go Vandy Commodores, or is it Tennessee Volunteers?
Yeah. Is it geographic? Are you talking closer in terms of geography or who you root for? Yeah, because there's a difference. I know there's no love lost between Tennessee and Vanderbilt. I listened to the sports animal out of Knoxville. They cannot stand Vanderbilt up there, so they never want Vanderbilt to do good, which we will be talking about in just a moment. So if that's we'll move on with that. And thank you for telling us a bit about yourself.
Sorry, a little long-winded, but
No, it's fine. No, it helps. That's what the point is, to try to get something out, different stuff in here and not just boring stats. And because you know me, I could read this stuff forever and ever. And
you're the numbers guy, and I barely remember what yesterday happened. What happened?
That's okay. That's why you keep me on the straight and narrow path. So, hey. Well, which will lead us into our next segment that we have on this show is the Week in Review. That's the Week in Review is where we will review last week's games involving SEC teams. Some we'll talk a lot about, some we'll skip over. Depends on what the situation is. But last week, fortunately, we only had one game, so we could actually practice our slides and stuff this week. So let me work on bringing this thing back into the stream. There we go. Hey. So anyway, It was Vanderbilt played at Hawaii. And obviously Vanderbilt pummeled the living snot out of Hawaii.
What is Hawaii's name? Are they the Rainbow Warriors?
No, they're the Warriors now. They're just the Warriors. They used to be that, but I don't know why they dropped it, but they're just the Warriors now. So, but they, as I've heard, probably had the worst pass defense in the country, but which is funny considering that Vanderbilt gained 404 yards on the ground alone. Vanderbilt did throw for 200 yards for amassing over 600 yards of offense. Time of possession is pretty even, and 2 turnovers, obviously. Hawaii, one was a fumble return for a touchdown by Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's quarterback, Mike Wright, threw for 146 yards passing and ran for 163 yards, scoring 4 touchdowns, 2 on the pass and 2 running touchdowns, one of them as long as 87-yard running. Will Shepard was his main target.
Can I ask a stupid question?
Yes, no, there's no stupid question. Here, for everybody, there are no stupid questions. Well, I will say there are no stupid questions, but yes, go ahead.
Okay, because I just type this stuff up. I really don't know what it means because I really don't follow football. So when it said 2 rushing to 87 yards, is that him running the touchdown?
Right. He ran a touchdown, a play for 87 yards for a touchdown. And then he also had a 1-yard touchdown run.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
exactly.
you.
There are no stupid questions.
Okay.
So I'm here to help. So in his favorite target, Will Shepard had 3 catches for 99 yards, scoring 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
So Vanderbilt obviously was very impressive last week. A lot of people noticed this game and now are considering possibly Vanderbilt might be able to win a conference game this year for the first time in almost 3 years. Last time they beat Missouri. That seems to be a possible target people are talking about. Vanderbilt could beat this year in the conference. But then again, Hawaii is one of the worst teams in the country. It's hard because
they're all busy surfing. They don't have time to practice football.
Football's a hobby, I guess so. But yeah, the Hawaiians used to have some really, really good teams. You remember when the girls were small, they had some really good prolific offenses years ago, and they actually played one year against Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, believe it or not. So
wow,
they've had some good years, but they're on hard times. Vanderbilt's on hard times. The problem with a game like this, it's very hard to take a lot out of it. Vanderbilt looked good against a really bad team, but what happens when they play in the SEC with faster teams with more depth? Those are the questions. But then again, I didn't think Vanderbilt would win this game, and they didn't just win it; they won it very convincingly. Mm-hmm. So, which leaves us and normally this is where we would talk about other games, but it's the only game for the week. So, our weekly SEC standings, you can see Vanderbilt is the first SEC team with a win on the board.
The only time Vanderbilt will ever be at the top of the standing board.
I don't know. Remember that one media writer that voted for Vanderbilt?
Maybe they know something that we don't know. Maybe.
Who knows? So, all right. Now we're going to enter another section here in this show where we're going to talk to get our guest about football. All right. Are you ready, Mrs. Dadman?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Well, do you have any favorite college football teams? Because our emphasis is on college football, but but it could also be favorite pro football teams or anything else.
Well, my college football teams are because I'm a little naughty. I like the Oregon State Beavers and Morehead State. Those are my two favorite, and I like it because we have baseball hats caps, excuse me, I don't know what you call them. And when we wear them out, people kind of look and they don't quite know what to say. So those are my two. And of course, since I have our oldest now is doing grad school at Georgia, I have to be a dog. Go dogs, ugga. And that's about it. Uh, I liked our local arena football teams when they had them when it was fun.
Hmm.
Um, but not really. Um, I just go by names.
Hmm.
If I like the name, I'll cheer for the team.
Yeah, you mentioned arena football. Those were fun games.
Oh my gosh,
It was like a combination of a WWF hockey and football.
yeah, they were
But
great.
they lost something when they left that league and couldn't have the nets. It was
Yeah, yeah. So they were just when we they first started here, it was really fun.
yeah. Okay. Well, what about football, specifically college football? Do you really like, or what things capture your interest?
Well,
When
as
I
I
ask this, it could include non
right.
football things like bands, cheerleaders, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, like I say, I'm not a big football fan, but I do love halftime shows. I love going. I used to be in marching band. I was a geek, and I just love the halftime shows. They're hard, and we did one, and ours were simple. And you watch some of this stuff they do, just the intricacy. It's just so blasted amazing to watch them. So I really like watching a good halftime show. Um, and I like a good mascot. Some of the
Hmm.
mascots scare me. They're just I don't like most bird
Well,
mascots.
what
They're
types
just
of
kinda scary.
mascots? Well, what kind of mascots do you like?
Well, I like, I mean, they have costume mascots and they have live mascots. Some of them, the costume ones, I do like the Florida Gators. I think they're just cute. Um, let's see what some any of the bird ones. I don't like most of the bird ones. I, as much as I don't like Tennessee, I'm so sorry, Wade. I don't like Tennessee. I do love their Smokey, the live coonhound, blue coonhound. I love him. I just any live animal one I like. Um, but yeah, the gator one, the Ugga, the bulldog.
How about a
Um,
bunny
oh,
mascot?
a bunny mascot. I wish they had a bunny mascot. I would cheer for that team like right away.
I believe there are teams named as the Jackrabbits. I can't remember if it's North Dakota State or South.
I'll
Might be
have
North
to
Dakota
find out
State
because I might like
Jackrabbits.
them. Now, the mascots I don't really like are
Hmm.
ones that are like people. I just think they're creepy looking.
Like a
People and
pirate.
birds, uh, like the Commodore, what Vanderbilt's Commodore. I just think they're creepy looking. Um,
uh,
y- you
Kind of
know,
like a deranged Easter bunny.
yeah, I just don't. Yes, they're kind of scary to me. But
Oh, hey,
those
speaking
are
of jackrabbits, that's too funny.
oh cool.
Oh, uh, you talk about creepy.
Yes, very creepy. I think they should just not be in existence. I agree with you, Squeaka. So
Oh,
that's kind of my
that
thing. That's kind of my thing
was
with
awesome.
what I, you know.
Oh, hey, Amanda. Hi, how are you tonight?
Hi, Amanda.
Yeah, I know it's baseball, but what about baseball mascot like we have for the Cincinnati Reds?
Isn't that like a big red baseball?
It's a
Big red.
baseball, yeah, with a body, yeah, a cap.
That's just weird. We
But
have well, I can't say much. We have a shrimp, so
yeah, we have the jumbo shrimp.
the jumbo shrimp. So it's their mascot's not too bad. It's just more where the facial features or they try to make them like human. Oh, they just creep me
Yeah,
out.
yeah, like a
And
cowboy.
I don't mind puppets. So, but it's just they're just weird. These are just weird to me.
Hey, let me stop you right there. Let's take this question since it came in. If you could make your own team, what would your mascot be?
Oh goodness, I have to think about it. Oh, the bumblebees. I don't know.
Well, you keep thinking about it. Maybe
Let me
we'll
think
read
about
this about the show at the end of the show if you can come up with one. But bumblebees are cool. I believe that there probably are some bees out there,
I think
probably
there is a B
baseball.
one. I think there is a
Well,
bumblebee
Georgia
one.
Tech or the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, that's an awesome question, that Squeaka. Thank you.
I'll have to think about
And
that.
thank you, Amanda, for your question too. Great questions. So let me ask you this: What are there any special football memories you have, whether it's college games or just any type of football that you have special memories of?
Well, I'm glad you asked me in advance, so that helped me think about it because my anything I put on the spot, I don't necessarily my brain goes and shut down. So I got to think about it. And I have some college ones, some um uh professional ones, and I have some just even with the kids when they played football because they did it up through the years. We were in a group called Upward, which was co-ed, well, usually co-ed flag football, and it was really fun to watch them. But the college ones, one of them is that when the kids were little, we would always Dadman would make us watch the Gator football games, um, and the kids would when halftime came. Was it halftime?
The end of the third quarter,
Into the third, and they'd sing "We Are the Old Boys of Florida."
Florida,
And we'd all the
Alabama,
girls would stand on the couch and we'd put arms around each other and we'd sing the song just like we were there in
sway.
the
Yeah.
arena and we'd sway and we'd do the whole thing. And that was a happy memory of us, doing something as a family. Um,
Mhm.
and when me and Dadman, before we had kids, we went to a Florida Georgia game, and it was hot, and we were hot, and so we were like wearing shorts or not heavy clothing, and then it rained, and
A
behind the
monsoon.
rain
A
came a, a,
monsoon.
a front, and it was freezing, and so we went to all the clothing places trying to find a sweatshirt or anything, a blanket, anything, and they didn't have anything. They had all summer clothes.
Hmm.
That was, oh my goodness,
The
that was,
howling wind made it worse. Wet
yes,
and high winds, like 30 miles an hour.
yeah, it was bad.
And then when the Georgia people left the game because it was a rout, the wind got worse because you had nobody to huddle up against.
Nobody to buffer it.
Uh,
Um, Another one was when we went to arena football. We had season tickets to go to the arena football, and it was so friggin' fun because, like I said, it was like a combination of hockey, um, wrestling, and football, and it was really kind of relaxed and everything. And one time we actually got front row seats, and so we were sitting there, and the game was, I think they were getting ready to hike the ball or something, and the ref was doing something. And we like said, "Hey, why?" We asked him, "Well, hey, what are you doing?" And he came over and told us what he was doing and explained some of the rules and stuff during the game. It was like crazy. And I thought that was just so cool. And then we were there with Ang. I think Ninja probably was there too.
no, that was Aang's game because
Oh,
Ninja was off. Yeah,
okay,
because
so
that's
it's
why we
just
got the
with
front
Ang,
row.
and Ang was wearing a jersey of one of the players, and the player came. They were coming out, getting ready to start the game, and we're like, "Hey!" And we waved, and he saw her T-shirt, and he comes over and does and we get a selfie picture with him. I mean, it just was crazy. That would never ever happen in other games. It just was. It was just so fun and so chill. And afterwards, all the players would come down to the field, and you could go and get autographs and pictures and the whole thing. It's just a whole different animal. It was fun.
Hmm.
Um, that one. And then when the kids were playing like upward football, there was one where they threw Ang was the center, and so they got her threw her the ball, and she ran for a touchdown. She did this victory dance and spiked the ball, and it was just so neat to see that. And then when the oldest in another game, um, they were a little older, and the boys were kind of afraid to throw the ball properly because being a girl, they were worried about hurting, and we're like, "No, she's out there to play. Let her play. Play like throw the ball to her. That's what she wants." And so they were in the end zone. She ran to the end zone, and they threw the ball, and she made a diving catch, caught the ball, and landed. into the touchdown, and that one was really cool. And she was all bruised up for that one. But
Yeah, I saw the bruises a week later. Yeah,
yeah,
on her legs. It
but
was
that's we've
pretty,
had some different
yeah.
diverse things, but um, some fun memories.
Hmm. Well, I'll share one real quick. With that play with Ninja, yeah, I remember that because she cut across, got a short pass, cut across the field, went up, and then crashed into the end zone. But one with Ang that I remember was I had to coach one week unexpectedly, and I made her the quarterback, and then I told her Ang to throw it to the tallest guy, like a Hail Mary on a 2-point conversion. Got out there. I'm screaming because Ang's looking for the not throwing it to the tall guy, but what she did was she ended up waiting and waiting and waiting. She stood in the pocket and then all of a sudden threw a ball to this kid and he caught it for the conversion. And I think that was the only catch that kid had all season.
Oh,
That was a great moment that even though she ignored me, she got the ball to her teammate.
she read the field. She read the field.
Absolutely. So, okay, so let me ask you this question, and before we go into our weekly preview, when you have to pick a team to win a game or to follow, what types of things do you consider making your choice?
Okay. I don't look at stats in the way that everyone else does. It depends on the day, but the mascot, the team name, the team colors, their logo, their fight song, and sometimes just because I don't like the other team. And I've actually for this picks, I actually did made a little tally system, so I tried to make it a little scientific because I'm an idiot. I'm a dweeb. So
Oh no, you're not. You're not a dweeb.
so that's what I did.
Oh my. Okay. Well, then I guess on that note, we will move into the. Do you have anything else you want to share? Or is that it?
No, no, I've rambled long enough.
Okay. Well, let's bring back. We'll move into the weekly predictions and for previews of teams. As we said, Vanderbilt is the only one that's played so far with a big 1-0 overall, but nothing in the SEC. We'll see what happens coming up. So let's look at this week's slate of games. First game we're going to talk about Ball State at Tennessee. Yeah, I said ball. Okay.
You said ball.
Yeah, but the Volunteers are listening to the Sports Animal. They're really excited for this season. They're pumped. They're very positive for the first time in many years. And this in previous years could have been a trap game, but they will probably put a good one on Ball State, take out years of frustration because they've got a lot to play for this year with the excitement and the new coach and a new attitude up there. The next game, we're Louisiana Tech and Missouri. There's not much there. We'll see if Missouri can generate the offense to win a game like this that they could very well lose. Sam Houston at Texas A&M, the Battle of Texas. Yeah, but that should be a really short, quick game. Really, Sam Houston doesn't have much of a chance on that. The first big game of the week we have is the number 23 Cincinnati Bearcats at the number 19 Arkansas Razorbacks. This is the first ever meeting between the two teams. Cincinnati was last year's American Athletic Conference champion, and they actually made it. They were not a Power 5 conference. They're from out this. You have the SEC, the Big 10, Pac-12, Big 12. You had the 5 big conferences, and this is another conference. It's not guaranteed a slot in the playoff system, but because they performed so well, they made the playoffs, the top 4 teams that go. So they were last year's AAC champion, and they lost to Alabama in the semifinals 27-6, and they finished a record of 13-1 last year. Although this year they're replacing a quarterback and 2 running backs and additionally 2 wide receivers as starters. So they have a lot on offense that they have to replace, while Arkansas is playing at home and they are returning a number of key offensive and defensive starters. So we'll actually pick the game coming up in just a moment, but that's a little bit about that game. The big game of the week is the Oregon Ducks versus the Georgia Bulldogs playing in Atlanta. So it's a neutral site game. This is the second all-time meeting between the two teams, and Oregon is number 11, while Georgia's ranked number 3. Georgia, as we said last week, is the defending national champions. The last time they played was in 1977, and the University of Georgia won 27-16. Some significant parts of this game is that Bo Nix previously played at Auburn University in the SEC. He transferred from Auburn to Oregon this season and is the starting quarterback for the Ducks. Also for the Ducks is also another SEC transfer, is actually their new head coach. Dan Lanning was Georgia's defensive coordinator last year when Georgia not only won a national championship, but they only gave up 10 points per game. So there's in the first year, though, how long does it take to get the coach's culture into an organization? Because I don't know how familiar you are with West Coast football from the Pac-12, especially the Ducks. It's mostly high-flying offense. Defense is an added bonus if you get it. So usually lots of points for Oregon. But then again, the question with Georgia's defense, returning enough talent and restocking through recruiting, what can they do? It should be an interesting game, though, especially being in a neutral site. Oregon finished 2021.
Why are they at a neutral site?
I'm not sure. I do not know offhand who sponsored this game, but what has happened in recent years is usually companies like, say, for instance, a Chick-fil-A or, different companies sponsor these games, and they consider kickoff classic type games. Okay. And they bring two teams together to play in the neutral site.
Okay.
This is one of those type of games. There will be others in a few weeks, like A&M and Arkansas play every year in Jerry's World in Dallas. It's different than that. This is more of a out of the ordinary type thing. So it's like a special kickoff classic. It's kind of one of those things that's kind of become done so many times. It's kind of, rote now. So at least in my opinion. So
yeah.
Oregon finished this 2021 at 10-4, tied for second in the Pac-12 North. And again, we're back to, can Oregon's offense produce points against a solid Georgia defense? That's really where this game comes down to. Then we Troy at Mississippi. That should be a pretty easy contest for Ole Miss, but you never know if they're replacing a starting quarterback this year. You got to play the game. You never know what happens till you kick it off. Mercer at Auburn. That's about all I'll say about that. Another big game for the week is the number 7 Utah Utes. Yeah, my cousin Vinny. What's a Ute? Anyway, at Florida, the Florida Gators.
Oh, what's a grit?
He did what's a grit, but Herman Munster, when he was saying youth, it was a youth. So
yeah.
This is the second all-time meeting also, meeting between Utah and Florida, and it's also the second Pac-12 SEC game this week. The first was the Oregon-Georgia game. Utah finished 10-4 last year. They won the Pac-12 South. The Gators are Utah's first regular season SEC opponent since they lost in 1984 at Tennessee. Utah is returning the first team all Pac-12 quarterback and running back. And this game is really a big game for the Pac-12 on a matter of perception. I would think the Oregon-Georgia game would be too, but I think this is the game where the Oregon-Georgia game, they don't know that they'll win. This is a game with Florida having been so bad last year. This is a game that they really want to win for conference pride and bragging rights, beating a team from the SEC. But, we have to, like I said, it's 0-0. It's a new season. Last year's past, who knows what will happen? Because if the Gators have their issues on the depth. They've been viewed as having enough starting talent and maybe a line of depth, but in the backups, but not enough when you go 3 or 4 deep. So that's one of the challenges for the Gators. And the biggest challenge the Gators have is the quarterback position. Will they get quarterback position that's capable of winning games against the good teams? Last year, Anthony Richardson and Emory Jones really did not perform well in the back half of the season, and then the tank and the defense went in the toilet, and it became a really bad season. But this year, hopes are high. And like I said last week, the Gators, I think, could be a wild card team. They could finish anywhere from 2nd to 5th. It just depends. But the first step is going to be can they get production at the quarterback position?
Yep.
So, and then we'll move on to Miami of Ohio at Kentucky. That should be an easy win for the Wildcats at home. Elon at Vanderbilt. Well, last week I thought that this would be a struggle for Vanderbilt, but I think after 63-10 on Hawaii, this one should be an easy one for Vanderbilt. If it's not, then we can question how good really Vanderbilt is. So, and this is one of these games that Vanderbilt can struggle in and take a game that they should win and lose or not look very good. Utah State at Alabama. So it looks like the state of Utah is deciding to come to the Southeast this week when you got Utah at Florida and now Utah State at Alabama. That's about it. Not much we can say there because Alabama should roll Tide in there. I can't believe I said that. But anyway, hey, for you Bama fans. Memphis plays at Mississippi State. This could be a tough game, though, for the Bulldogs at Mississippi State. They should win. They've got good offensive production, especially with a quarterback, but you never know with a game like this. Sometimes you should have the talent, you should have the advantage, but all I know is that there's going to be a hell of a lot of cowbells at that game in Starkville, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So if you like cowbells, that's the place you should go. So they came here one year and they brought the cowbells with them, which shocked me that they let them in the stadiums. But, it's a tradition. So
I think that's probably why they did.
And I'm for tradition and stuff too. But you know what? If you're near those cowbells too long, don't have a headache.
Need more cowbell.
Well, if you want more cowbell, go there. Georgia State at South Carolina. The Gamecocks should roll this game against Georgia State. Again, South Carolina's bringing in a new transfer quarterback from Oklahoma, so the offense should be improved over last year. And the final game of the week is the Florida State Seminoles at the LSU Tigers. Actually, it's a neutral site game. It's being played in New Orleans. But essentially, LSU is essentially a home game. When you talk about Baton Rouge to New Orleans, and it's not necessarily a 50-50 split like a neutral site game like Florida, Georgia. So it should be considered a home game for LSU. FSU actually leads in the series 7-2. But it's been a long time since they played. FSU starts 2022 1-0. They beat Duquesne 47-7 in what they call week 0. Last week was technically week 0. So I don't know. That started a few years ago with this thing of week 0. It's sad that they were bad games last week, but before.
What is it? Just like they consider them like practice games?
No, they're real games, but they call it. I don't know whether they did this week 0. They started a few years ago. Florida and Miami played in one of those preseason kickoff things.
Oh,
and they marketed it like that.
Who knows?
I don't know. There's so much stuff that they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
FSU amassed almost 650 yards in total offense, over 400 yards running the ball in its win over Duquesne. LSU returns a quarterback this year that had not played last year because he was injured, but he has starting experience. So will LSU have enough running backs? I'm not sold on FSU, but we'll preview the game a little bit more. So with that, let's see.
Well, I've got an answer to Squeaka's question before we go to the next phase.
Yeah, and I want to. That one. Then I want to talk about weights. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, my mascot would be a peacock because I don't think my team would probably be good, but at least we would look good while we lose, and our team colors will be teal, dark blue, purple, and green. Our home colors will be what? I guess what? Purple and teal, and our away colors will be dark blue and green, I guess. And we'd be fabulous. So that's what my mascot would be.
You would lose looking good, right?
Yes, as I say, we probably won't be the best team, but we will look good losing.
Hey, like our motto in Fortnite. Hey,
And
if
if
you
you've
want to try,
ever
look good.
seen, but there might be a chance because have you ever seen an angry peacock? They can be mean.
No, yeah,
So,
I have a
there's that unknown with our team. So
yeah,
that's what I would be.
yeah. I've heard about peacocks when they have something bad happen that they can really
Peacocks and
be.
swans. Swans
Yeah,
are beautiful but vicious, vicious, vicious.
yeah.
So,
I
okay.
understand
So
that.
I just wanted to I've been
So
thinking about it and I
now
think
there
that's
you go. So that was your question. Is
yeah,
the answer is a peacock.
the peacocks.
To Wade's
And
question
our
here.
short name we could be the Cocks, but that's another story for another day. So now you can ask Wade's question. Sorry.
Yes, I like it. Well, but the cock's already taken. You got South Carolina, remember?
I know, I know.
Okay,
So
but
go.
hey, I'll have to share one with you later. I heard, but Wade, depends on what you define as the best SEC stadium. Um, I've visited two SEC stadiums. I've actually visited where the University of Miami plays. I've been in Doak Campbell where FSU plays. So I've seen a few stadiums. I I tell you what, if I had to compare personally the ones I've seen between University of Florida and and University of Georgia, I'd like the Georgia Stadium better. I'm sorry, I it looks comfortable. It looks beautiful. I I cringe, and I'm sure if there's my friend Gator fans out there would want to torch me for that. But it looked like a nice football field. My experience in Gainesville has been that it's like really cramped, and they build it up. It was really, hard to sit in. But I will tell you, back in the '70s, though, Wade, I did. I went to a game against LSU with my dad and my uncle, and in the north end zone, back when the stadiums were older, we went into a wrought iron gate and brick fence, and we just walked in and walked down in the north end zone. That stadium was beautiful, you know. So I'm more of a partial to older stadiums, but if you talk about in terms of playing the game, it depends on who you are and how good the teams are. One of the most feared places to play the game is in at LSU. They call Death Valley, especially when they play at night, because they make no secret about the drinking and the partying and everything else. You just go talk to LSU fans and how much pride they have playing in at night, at home at night, having liquored up and wearing the white jerseys at home. It's like it's something else. The Mississippi State can be hard at times with the Cowbells, but they're usually not as good. But uh, that's one of the hardest stadiums I think for playing a game in. Others have noise, a lot of noise. So, but by reputation, I think LSU has the most feared stadium that's around. Even if they're not any good, they can still put a lot of hurt on some people. So, well, that will lead us to. Are you ready for our picks of the week? This is
Drum roll, drum roll,
okay.
drum roll.
I
drum
want to
roll.
say this first and foremost: we are not a gambling site. We don't do betting. We don't encourage it. What you see here is just informational and for fun. And don't trust me to do anything. I can't even take out the garbage half the time. So don't
That's
rely
a
on me for
fact.
anything. Yes, this is all for fun. This is all for enjoying football.
And you will
Okay.
see how it is all for fun when you see how I do my picks.
And you are going to explain a little bit about that,
I
right?
will. I will.
Okay.
Yes, I
All
will.
right. All right. So now we go into this, though. So, Mrs.
Yes.
The first game of the week. Let me see about adding it back in.
Boston.
Ball State at Tennessee. I know I hit the button too early,
That's okay. That's okay.
but
I've already made my choices. Well,
okay.
I'll tell you my criteria first. Like I say, the name, and I kind of tried to do this a little scientifically. I like 1 to 5. So if I like the name, 1 to 5, the costume, or if it was live, the mascot, the name of the character, um, red, white, and blue. Hey, go for it. If you have money to lose. The logo, the fight song, and I'll tell you, a lot of the fight songs suck. They're just plain old fight. They're not fun at all. And I have like a little bonus area just if there's like certain things I want to give a bonus for. Like I really hate the other team, so I want to give other points to this team. So, like for Tennessee Volunteers, for their name, I gave them a 2 because volunteering is good. It's a good thing to do. And Ball State, because I like birds, I might not like their costumes, but I do like birds. They got a 3. I'm like, like for the mascots, Tennessee got a little higher on that because I like the real dog, and I thought that was kind of neat. Um, the logo, Ball State, I like their logo, so they got a little higher than Tennessee. The fight song, Rocky Top got a -5 for me because I hate that song, and every time I hear it, I want to cry. So they got a -5. Usually I would just give a 0, but that's truly how much I hate that song. And for the Cardinals, they did get a bonus of a 3 because I just don't like Tennessee. And their total was 14 Ball State and 7 Tennessee. But this is the only one that I went against my numbers because to have any credibility, I have to pick Tennessee, even though I really don't want to. So against my better judgment, I did pick
She
Tennessee.
came around, Wade, and of course I'm going to take Tennessee. Hey, next time we can call them this.
Yes.
Your picks,
The
Peacock's
picks of the week. Yes. Yay.
That's
I love
awesome.
it.
So obviously I'm taking Tennessee a lot. Like I said earlier, there's an excitement up there, and if they don't, there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of very upset people up there. So, all right. So the next game is Louisiana Tech at Missouri.
Okay. The LA Tech Bulldogs. Kind of every average. Their dog, their mascot Tech. I gave them a 5 because I like dogs. Their fight song, they got a kind of higher number because they've got this cool line. It says, "Hit those lines like good old canines." What the heck? I just like that line. Missouri Tigers, Mizzou. Hey, I just don't get Mizzou. I mean, I know why they do it, but it just sounds kind of stupid to me. But everything else kind of good, like their colors. But in their fine song, they do have a cool play on words. They go Mizzou Raw for like Missouri. I thought that was kind of cool, so they got a high point of that. So it was 14 to 15. LA Tech, Louisiana Tech Bulldogs win by 1 point. The dogs won over the Cats. So I pick Louisiana Tech to win that game.
Okay. Well, we're going to disagree on that one. I'm taking Missouri being at home. Louisiana Tech had a rough year last year also, but Missouri didn't have much better. But it's kind of a battle of mediocre teams, dumpster dwellers, but I'll still go with Missouri being at home with this game. So, all right. So the next game, Sam Houston at Texas A&M.
Okay. Sam Houston, not really a lot there. I like they're the Bearcats. I like their logo. Kind of cool. That's where they got their high score. Texas A&M, the Aggies, farmers. It took me a while to figure out what Aggies were, but so they get a little bit for being farmers. Yeah, we need farmers. Woo! Like their mascot. Oh my gosh, it's a live mascot. It's a beautiful dog. I guess they've had like 9 mascots throughout the time. It's just a beautiful. I believe it's a border collie. Just beautiful. So they got high points for that. And the rest, just kind of so from 11 points to 16 points, Texas A&M because they've got a beautiful dog mascot.
All right. Well, hey, you got your reasons. I won't argue with them, but just on football, don't even have to think twice about it. Not much to say. Sam Houston will be way outclassed, so A&M for the win, big time. Which brings us to one of the big games of the week that we spotlighted is the Cincinnati Bearcats at the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Okay, Cincinnati. Okay, I like their name. I like, even though there was already another Bearcat, but the origin of their name was really cool. I kind of was looking stuff up and found it, and it was given to them in 1914, and it was there was a fullback named Leonard K. Teddy Bear, and he impressed the fans so much during a game against Kentucky because he just was a fiery player and everything that the cheerleader created a chant that said they may be Wildcats, but we have a Bearcat on our side. His last name was Bear, and then the crowd followed with "Come on, Bearcat." And then Cincinnati won against Kentucky 14-7 in that game. And so they had a front page at the student paper of a Bearcat, whatever they called it, chasing a wildcat cartoon. And so that's how they got their name. And I just think that was just kind of cool, the origin of their name. The costume is just kind of creepy, but in a good way. It's like a good creepy. It looks like he's out to do mischief, and I really kind of like that. The logo's kind of cool. It has the C for Cincinnati, and then it has like little things to make the claws. It's just really kind of cool. And so they got um, uh, 17 total points through all their stuff. Arkansas, I don't like their costume. I don't really think their mascot's cute, except for Tusk, which is like the mascot junior. I like the Razorback logo, but they only got 9 points. So I'm going for Cincinnati Bearcats for the win. Go
Okay.
Bearcats.
Okay. Well, that's not an unreasonable pick. They could do it if they get, like I said earlier, the questions on offense and the way they replace people, and if they can get the production. But Arkansas is up and coming over the last two seasons under their new coach, and they returned starters on offense. And again, at home, playing at home in the SEC is a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely going Arkansas. So, which takes us to the next game: Oregon versus Georgia.
Well, I can't say a lot. Um, Oregon Ducks, their costume looks like a poor man Donald Duck. I'm sorry, Donald Duck is the standard for duck costumes, and the name their team name. I guess there was a big thing. People were calling the mascot Puddles, and they got really mad about it being called Puddles. If it was Puddles, I would have given it more points. But the duck is just boring. Um, so they get a total of 12 points through all their stuff. Now the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm just going to say one thing. Our daughter's going there for graduate school. They get 5 straight down the line plus 5 bonus points. So they have got a perfect score of 30. So I am saying Georgia is going to win. And I will always pick Georgia.
Ooh, there's going to be a weekend where we're going to have some trouble.
Yep, there is. Sorry, babe.
Oh, well, I'm used to losing, so it's okay. But what's good here is I agree. I don't trust Bo Nix as a quarterback. Oregon has got to get better than last year. I don't think he throws as well. Could be wrong. Maybe a new change of scenery will help, but I think Georgia just outclassed. Return Stetson Bennett at quarterback. They returned so much on defense that it's just going to be hard for a Pac-12 team to come play with an SEC team, especially on the road, because it's near Athens. I mean, even if they divide the tickets, it's too much, I think, for a Pac-10 with weak defenses generally. So I'm going definitely with Georgia on this one. So
go Dogs.
Go Dogs. I'll say go Dogs this week. Woof woof. Okay, next game, Troy at Mississippi. How do you see that?
Okay, well, first, Troy Trojans. 5 points for their name because, we've got to have safe sex. Trojans, man, safe sex. Costume, creepy. Logo's boring, but we've got to promote that. Mississippi, Ole Miss, what name do they go by? It's confusing to me. And their mascot. I mean, they were like Colonel Reb and then the black bear and now a land shark. I mean, make up your mind. Just make up your mind.
I
But I
didn't know
will
about
say
the
that,
land shark.
yeah, the land shark, it does look cool, but it's just like, come on, So the score ended up the Troy Trojans 13, Mississippi 11. Safety wins.
Oh wow, you're
So
going
I
for an
picked
upset.
Troy.
Wow, that could be interesting if that happened. That could be very interesting. Oh, be safe though. Oh, the logic is really amusing and entertaining. Love it though, but I got to disagree with you. Got to go with Ole Miss.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
going to stick with SEC team at
So you
home.
don't promote safe sex. Shame on you.
No, I'm promoting football. The other is a personal choice of
But
people.
that gives me that. Can I tell a quick story about where we live? The Ramses, Egyptian Ramses
Yeah,
exhibit
go
was
ahead.
going through the states,
Hmm.
and I volunteered, and I was working there. And one night, all of us went to watch a comedian, and we were all sitting up front, and we all had our volunteer outfits on and everything. And I loved it because he started off the thing with is that he's so happy and how progressive our state our city is that they're actually having an exhibit for safe sex because
Oh,
Ramses.
oh, no.
So that's kind of about
Hey, but hey, I'm supposed to be the one telling jokes. Damn it,
oh
jokes. That's awesome. Though. That's cool. Oh, I didn't even advance the slide. I got
no.
kind of caught up in that one. But Ole Miss. Okay, how do you see Mercer at Auburn?
Okay, Mercer. They went from Baptist to Bears. Mascot's a little creepy. They've got a male and female, Toby and Todd. They're cute names, but the mascots still are kind of creepy. But their colors are orange and black, Halloween colors. Top score for that. Yay. I like their fight song because it talks about basketball and it talks about academics, about scholarship, and not just beating a team. So they got some high scores on that. So they got 15 points overall. Auburn, I don't really have a lot to say for them. Aubie, I like the name, but they only got 13 points because Halloween rules. I go for the Mercer Bears.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm not another team I'm not really sold on is Auburn, but still SEC at home against a smaller competition. Put it this way: if Auburn loses this game, it's going to be a really, really, really long year. So uh, that's all that needs to be said with that. Okay, let's go to the other half of the bracket. The Utah Utes at Florida, number 7 Utah at Florida. How do you see that?
Well, Utah didn't get many points for me. They got 8, and one of the highest scores was for they used the word jolliest in their fight song, and I just think that's I don't know, kind of cool. So they get 8 points, but it's Florida, and the Gators. I like the costume. I like the Albert and Alberta. I think they're cute. They get good scores, blue and orange. I do like those colors. And the fight song, I have to give the fight song top scores because our children sang it with us when they were little, and it brings back good memories. So 8-23, Florida Gators.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
not a score.
wow.
That's just my ranking.
Yeah. Well, this game is a hard one for me to call this week. Uh, Based on performance from last year, the returning starters for Utah, they're ranked 7th. Really, they seem to have the advantage, but then again, they're on the road in the southeast. The humidity, the temperature's a lot different down here than up there. The Gators, are at home, and sometimes they perform unexpectedly well when they play at home. And in this case, I think that they do. This game will, I think, go a long way to how well they play in this game. Even if they end up losing a close game, but they play well, could be a sign for how they're going to do for the rest of the season. If Florida loses it, it's not so bad because it's not a conference game. But I'm going to go here for the upset though, with the Gators beating Utah at home. So, all right, the next game, Miami of Ohio at Kentucky. The Wildcats host Miami. How do you see this one?
Well, the Miami, Ohio, they're the Red Hawks. They used to be the Redskins, but years before all the controversy with using uh, tribal names they took, or terms that were offensive. They took it out years before it even became a thing. So they get a lot of points for being ahead of their time for that. Their Red Hawk costume is not that great. I like the name Swoop, but other mascots have used it. Their logo is really cool. So Kentucky Wildcats, they just don't really get a lot of points for me for much of anything. Scratch is kind of cute. I think that's like a junior Wildcat. I'm not really sure. Um, so it's kind of cute, but the score was my totals were 12-10. Just the logo design for Miami, Ohio Redhawks. That's why they are going to win, because they got a cool logo.
Wow. I tell you, that would be a huge upset if that happened. It would throw everybody insane up there. Because, like Tennessee, they're expecting to challenge Georgia this year up in the Bluegrass States. So that would be interesting to see panic then, because Kentucky plays at Florida the next week. And, oh, wow, that would be interesting. So, by the way, here's a suggestion for our graphics.
I saw that. When I'm on, we can do that. I think that would be hilarious.
Okay, that's a good idea.
I think
Think
we could
about,
do that.
yeah, maybe make mine weekly a banana, and we could figure out something for the other. But hey, that's cool. Thank you, Squeaka. And I said Kentucky, right? So Kentucky in that one. It just, I don't think Miami of Ohio has enough to stay with Kentucky, who's bringing back one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC. And although Kentucky is going to be without their starting running back due to suspensions for off the field issues in the off season, so there is a big loss, but one that Kentucky should be able to overcome. So I will go Kentucky, which brings us to the last 5 games we have here. Elon at Vanderbilt.
Okay. Elon Phoenixes. I just think their logo is so cool. It is, I think, one of the coolest logos I have seen. And I wish we could show stuff like that, but I'm afraid that with copyrights and stuff. But if you could look up their logo, I just love that logo. Um, they're the only Phoenix name I've seen. I'm sure there's others. But man, their costume sucks. It's horrible. So they didn't get a lot of points with that. Their fight song is horrible too. Vanderbilt Commodores, their costume, it's a guy, it's a Commodore guy, Mr. Commodore. What an original name. But it wasn't bad for a person one, but their fight song got more points because they use the words dynamite and blood in it. I just think, yes. So Phoenix, Elon had 14 points. Vanderbilt had 11. So Elon Phoenix win it just because of their logo. That's what won
Wow.
it. So
Wow.
Elon.
Last week I would have said you could be right, but you never know. Maybe Vanderbilt goes in the tank again this week. But Vanderbilt had blood in the fight song.
There was I looked at it and it had the words dynamite and blood in it.
Oh my gosh, for school, that's
Yeah.
shocking for them. I mean, that's almost like when I read the words to the French national anthem. Well, I'm gonna. I still think Vanderbilt could be in a letdown after last week, but after last week, I have a little more encouragement in them. So I'm going to take Vandy at home here in that. So looks like you got some excitement out there in the chat. Yes. I want dynamite blood.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, how about, and then and you take out the whole stadium.
Absolutely.
There you go. Hey, we want rough football. We want real football, don't we?
Yes. Sissy, all these pads and crap.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll tell you, rugby. Rugby's a real sport. We love rugby too, don't we?
Yes.
Exactly. Okay, back to Wade's go Bama here. Utah State at Alabama.
Okay. Utah State, once again, they're the Aggies. Farmers, yay. We support our farmers because without farmers, we will have no food. They had a mascot, Big Blue. They used to actually paint a bull blue for this, and they stopped doing it, and then they did a costume mascot. Big Blue's not the most original name. Their colors are just, blue, silver, black, and white. Fight song, not that great. Alabama Crimson Tide. Their name, I was trying to figure out why were they called Crimson Tide. I didn't understand it. And apparently, there's some contradictory things, but it came from a newspaper article, and they were describing a win. I don't remember which one, and they don't really know necessarily who to attribute it to, but they talked about I guess they were losing and they came back to win, and it was like a crimson tide. It's like a war analogy that they use there. So I thought that was really interesting how they got their name. An elephant. Uh, a lot of the coaches didn't like the fact that an elephant was their mascot because elephants are not fast. They're plodding and slow, and they just didn't think it kind of represented their team. But um, somehow, I don't know if early into the career of Georgia football, they started live elephants ended up being at the games. I don't know if it was a sponsorship. I can't quite remember. So, they'd be in parades and things like that. So that's kind of like how the elephant has become a mascot. So I thought that was kind of a neat history about the mascot. So they got some good points for that. And their fight song mentions the Bulldogs, the Yellow Jackets, and the Rose Bowl in their fight song, which I just thought was kind of interesting. So they got good points for that. So Utah State Aggies are 11, Alabama Crimson Tide's 20. So Alabama's going to win this game because of their name and
very interesting analysis. I really like that. That's very fascinating. You did that, come up with that.
I'm getting pretty good at this, right?
Yeah, that was really interesting about that. And I know about their fight song with those particular things mentioned. So, so that Crimson Tide was not what somebody said in the chat last week, then, right?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I believe everything I read, right?
Yes, because if it's on the internet, it's true.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'll short story. No need to draw this one out. Alabama, Alabama, easily. Uh-oh. Why do I have a sense you're thinking of something or seeing something?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. Well, brings us to Memphis at Mississippi State.
Okay, the Memphis Tigers. Their tiger costume actually looks good. A lot of the tiger costumes look absolutely horrible. So their looks pretty good. They do have their costumes. One that is named, I believe, Pouncer. Kind of interesting. Their logo is kind of cool. So they get 14 out of my criteria. The Mississippi State Bulldogs. I like the costume. I like the live dog. They have had actually 21 live mascots throughout their career. They're both named Bully, which I think is kind of cool. Their colors, maroon, white, gray. Oh, they're a fight song, okay. But they get a 4-point bonus because we need more cowbells. So they win 15 by 1 point because of cowbells, baby. That's why. Memphis State Bulldogs. Mississippi State Bulldogs. I'm so sorry.
Wow.
For the win for cowbells.
The power of the cowbell.
Power of the cowbell.
I guess you can't fight it.
Can't fight it.
At one point, Memphis could have been more challenging in this game. This could still be a possible upset. Memphis could knock off Mississippi State if Mississippi State does not show up, does not play defense, and their offense sputters. But at home in Starkville with, like you said, all that dang cowbell, I'll be going with the Mississippi State Bulldogs also. Hey. All right. We got 2 left. So we got Georgia State Panthers at the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay. Georgia State Panthers. Hate their logo. It's boring. It's blue. It's just like a blue outline of a panther. I just don't like it. Their costume is better than their logo, but it's not the greatest. Panthers, the name. So they're just kind of meh. South Carolina Gamecocks. Well, I don't like their costume. It's horrible. But the name of their costume is the General. And I think they should have gone with Commander Cock because we always could use more cock. I like their colors. And in their fight song,
they found that name.
The fight song they have in there, Cocks Get Going, Go Cocks.
Really?
Yes, there's a part that's in their thing. So, I mean, like I say, we can never have enough cocks. So 15, the score I got for them, 10 for the Panthers for my total tally. So I am going with the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay.
Go Cox.
Go Cox. There we go. All right. Wow. That is very, very interesting. We're going to get this one, Wade. Okay. I'm just going to leave that one there.
No, that's Moorhead. That's the team. Moorhead, Squeaka.
No. She's playing off with the.
I know what she's.
I love it. I love you guys in the chat. Y'all have been great tonight. Thank you for being here and participating. Georgia State, South Carolina. The only thing good about Georgia State was a few years ago, Ninja and I watched their basketball team upset Baylor in NCAA tournament action. So that's the only good thing. Well, wait, no. Georgia State also beat Tennessee a few years ago in football, which was a big upset. So they've done some good things, but they're not going to win against the South Carolina, and I will give it to you. Here's more Cox. South Carolina Gamecocks.
Woo! Go Cox! Yay!
For the people that want that. Oh, damn. Okay, sorry. Okay, hello. We're getting there, Wade. We're getting there. We're going to end it up with the Florida State Seminoles and the LSU Bengal Tigers playing in New Orleans. So how do you see that one, Mrs.?
Okay, well, Florida State Seminoles, there's always this controversy about using tribal names. I kind of researched it because I was curious, because a lot of them have actually gone away from it. But Florida State actually has permission from the Seminole tribe to use the name. When they started with the name to begin with, someone went there and talked to them and asked their permission to use it. They don't call Chief Osceola a mascot. And the horse has a name too, which I cannot remember, but they call them symbols instead because they don't want to be disrespectful. The tribe actually helped create the regalia that Chief Osceola wears, which I thought was really interesting. And as a respect to the tribe, they have tried to discourage people in the stands, fans from wearing headgear, the head regalia, or anything like that that could be considered disrespectful. I love the colors garnet and gold, so they got some pretty good points there. The LSU Tigers. Their costume is not too bad looking. Mike the Tiger, I don't quite understand the name Mike. I think it was named after a coach, is why the name is. The Seminoles, their fight song got 0 because they do use the word scalp 'em. And I don't know. I don't mind dynamite and blood, but scalp 'em is just a little bit too much, in my opinion. But the LSU Tigers got 2 for their fight song because they use the words Knights of Old and Die or Do, which I just think, the whole knight mythology, I just like that. But the totals of my scoring was the Seminoles had 15 and the Tigers had 11. So I'm saying go Noles.
Wow. But that it's not a bad pick though, because it could happen. Can you hear me? I didn't know if something happened.
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's a neutral site game. It could happen. I mean, FSU had a good performance this week, even though it was against an opponent that they were outclassing. But a little confidence. They have returning quarterback and starters that could be a factor in the game. LSU's going to be in its first game with Brian Kelly, the head coach that left Notre Dame to go there. I just neutral site game though in Louisiana. I'm sticking with the home team again with LSU. So go LSU. Like Wade said there, go LSU.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
that you're sorry. Well, it's okay. So we'll have to round it up and see what will happen. Though is we go to this. What we'll try to do during the season is accumulate predictions. Yeah, we'll show me my weekly record and amass the overall record.
And I apologize to all the guests in advance for my picks.
Yes, yes.
But
I don't.
I picked 7 SC teams and 7 non-conference teams.
But some of your picks were not bad picks. The games could go either way, in a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
So how that goes. Uh, Wade, being the new and getting off the ground, I'm afraid of spreading myself too thin at this point. Maybe next year, if things work out, if things keep going. It is possible, though, that I might add a few games from outside the region as we move on. This week we had 13 or 14 conference games, and I want to make sure I hit all of the conference games, even if they're bad games. But coming up, there's weeks where there's only like 5. There's one week there's only 5 conference games. Some with 7 conference games. Those weeks, if they're good national matchups, I'm willing to talk about them and maybe include them. I know like Texas, Oklahoma, the Red River rivalry. You got Ohio State, Michigan at the end of the year. So, I might throw some of those in as we go over time. I mean, during the season, but in terms of a conference focus, being in the Southeast, that's kind of where my focus is for now. But I would love to do even more. And got to get used to keep doing this technology and stuff. And definitely over time. So it's a lot. It's very interesting to do something from this side.
I just thought of another mascot I could be, since I like crafting.
Yeah.
We could be the crocheters, and we could be the hookers. Sorry. Sorry.
Don't they call that hooking though in general or something?
Yes, they say crochet. I don't know if they necessarily use the term a lot, but yes.
But yeah, it's one of those. Wow, it's one of those funny things. Well, thank you so much for being here with me tonight, and we'll total up your picks and my picks this weekend and see how it goes. And I've got to brag on this lady too a little bit. We're going to be camping. Like I said earlier, but she's already making plans to take a Roku TV and the Roku with us so that I can watch football while we're camping. I mean, how good is that? Now, if it doesn't work, if the Wi-Fi doesn't work, and all, that's so be it. But at least the thought's there. So I appreciate that so much and love you. And do you have any final thoughts tonight that you want to leave us with?
No, this is fun, and thank you guys for listening to my crazy picking. I thought it was fun. Thank you guys all for sticking. You 6 people for sticking with it and listening to us. Mm-hmm. It was fun. It was fun.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure and a blast to have you on. And as she said, thank you to everybody that passed through. May not have left a comment. Thank you for those in the chat that participated, because it really does make a difference when you participate with us and have fun. And that's what we're intending to do here, is do some serious stat stuff, but also just have fun and a place to relax and have a good time with each other. Remember what I said earlier, it's not going to just be football oriented on the channel. There's going to be show and tell, like items of interest. There's going to be history things and maybe even some theme park experiences too coming up. Hey, can we get you on a ride?
No.
You sure?
Not the ones I know you're thinking about.
Ooh, sure, not enough money?
Not enough money in the world to put me on a roller coaster.
Exactly. All right. Well, but thank you all for being here. Mrs. Thank you for being here with us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm going to take you out. And I just want to say again, thank you everybody for being here. If you watch this in replay, if you like what you see, like, follow, subscribe, whichever, on Twitch or YouTube. Share it out, spread the word. Really appreciate each and every one of y'all that are here. And on that note, let's see if I can do this right this time. Let me, uh-oh. See, here we go. See if I can get this one right this time. I did something wrong, believe it or not. So, oh, there we go. Ta-da! Guys, have fun, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye, all.